Yes. Okay. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to yet another series of SMS. So today we are going to continue our discussion further with the armor security judgment. So last day we had Annapurna ma'am had laid down the basics which had led to the particular legal dispute. She also discussed threadbare, the circulars, the relevant notifications, the relevant sections, which would have an impact or bearing on this particular judgment. She then took us through the arguments laid down by the petitioner, the facts of the matter case, and then the arguments laid down by the petitioner. So today maybe we'll move on to the arguments by the respondents, and then maybe the legal analysis. So today's part two of the judgment. So before we start with, I have hand over the mic to Annapurna ma'am. I would request Venuji to share a few words as to why legal analysis is so important for all professionals like us. Venuji. Venuji, am I audible?
You are audible, Arugda.
Yeah. I think Venuji is having some technical issue.
Yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
No, please, let's start.
Yeah, no, I was saying, Venuji, if you can share in 1 minute, maybe the significance of doing case analysis, as we decided that every month we'll have one case analysis. So how why is case analysis important for all of us, like professionals?
Yeah, so for sure, we are all now moving to the next league of practice, which is only more into litigation. At least I'm sure 50% of us do not even know what are all the changes happening in the tables and other things, and we are not worried. We are now gearing up for the tribunal. And that is why I have told between Arup, which we discussed, along with reading of the sections, going through the case laws is very important because this helps us in shaping our thought process when we are before commissioner or the tribunal. And more importantly, being aware of these new cases are important. And Annapurna madam has done a wonderful job last time. We didn't jump into the case directly. We have spent sufficient in understanding how it should be. If like you and I become a judge and we have to draft it, what should be the thought process that which we will be going? So now what is more important for us is equipment in understanding how do we present ourselves. That is the reason every month we will be picking one session for a case. But as usual, when we pick something for the case or any session, there will be a spillover. We will plan ourselves. This is the thought process. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Venuji. So now we'll go to Annapurna ma'am. Annapurna ma'am, now we're excited to know what the respondents have given as arguments. So over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, faculty group, for giving me an opportunity. And I found this is one of the interesting case as such because many issues we discuss on the jurisdiction and this decision has twisted in few of the instances. So we'll just go into aspect. We have already discussed the fact of the case and the petitioner contention. So just to go back to the respondent contentions and how the different decisions have been contradicting by the different high courts. So I just taken the brief of that gist of the case laws just to understand how it was analyzed before the respective high courts. So basically the decisions which they say that inquiry or investigation is in contrast to the proceedings. So there are few decisions where they said that issuance of summon is not a proceeding. So one of the decision is GK Trading versus Union of India, where they have tried to say that 6(2)(b) is only applicable when the proceedings are on the same subject matter, and issuance of summons, that is inquiry or investigation, is not synonymous to the proceedings because proceedings requires that they should be same subject matter and it should refer to a same cause of action also. So in the subsequent para also, we have tried to analyze how we test the same subject matter and what is the same course of action against that. And they have just tried to analyze that summons is not a initiation of proceedings in this GK trading decision also. And then coupon counter case, this is also Madras High Court decision, which is also one of the famous decisions, which they have said that inquiry or proceeding cannot be used interchangeably. So there are few criterias to treat that summons as inquiry, and there are few criteria which we have to look to treat it as a proceeding. So you cannot use either inquiry or proceedings. Both are different proceedings, and it has both are different terms, so it cannot be used in the same manner. And merely pendency of proceedings before the state authorities is not a ground to restrain the central authorities from issuing summons. So in the initial years of our adjudications, we have seen that whenever we are receiving the summons from the central authority as well as state authority, we used to refer section 160 subsection 1 and 2, and we used to say that 6 subsection 2 and B, we used to refer and say that already our inquiry is taken by state authority, so summons cannot be issued by the central authority. So based on that, they said that it doesn't mean that if it is already pending before the state, the central cannot issue the summons. Then even in Anurag Suri, they have discussed on that DGGI case, saying that there was a challenge to issue the SUN and subsequent orders issued by the state authority, despite the DGGI already seized the matter. So the period was same. So the High Court has caused that show cause notice, as it was resulting into a overlapping period for the period which has been conducted by DGGI and for the period for which they have issued the show cause notice. So these are the different court rulings. I'm just trying to analyze how they have treated the adjudication and investigation in a different manner. So they're just trying to give the decisions which are proceedings are in contrast to an inquiry or investigation. And one of the decision of Indo International Tobacco Limited versus Vivek Prasad, which is referred in this decision, Arma decision, they have said that here in this case, they have approached to the High Court because there were multiple search operations and summons were going around to the taxpayer, and they were adjudicated and they were investigated by the multiple jurisdiction. And they said that Section 6 is not applicable where there is an inquiry, investigation, and proceedings beyond the jurisdiction, because search was conducted by the central authorities, bank was provisionally attached, and then again they were all their premises were subjected to the search by the multiple units. So they were just trying to say that this whatever the circular has been issued till today, whether it is 2020 circular or 2018 circular or whatever has been discussed, they have not passed there is no scenario where they have tried to say that can they cover the multiple thread involving the multiple taxpayers. So if you are having a jurisdiction in Karnataka as well as in Maharashtra or as well as in Rajasthan or West Bengal, wherever it is, nowhere the circular is trying to cover situations where they are trying to involve a multiple thread involving the multiple taxpayer. And then they have also referred to the 6(2)(a). They have to say that they have to pass a comprehensive order. If you read section 6 sub 1, it gives a general power to an officer that if he is passing a CGST order, he has to automatically pass the SGST order. So that general power is given in section 6 subsection 1. Whereas 6 subsection 2 is giving an enforcement to that power of the proper officer, which has been given in section 6(1), saying that they have to pass a comprehensive, when they are passing the comprehensive order under section 6 subsection 1, then it is treated as if they have gone in case of 6(2)(b) also, they have to pass the order. So they cannot pass the this whatever the power they are getting under 6(1), they cannot pass on to the other officer. When it is under their jurisdiction, they have to pass the order. So that's what they are just trying to refer 6(2)(a) and 6(2)(b). And they said that when 6(2)(a) has to pass a comprehensive order under the respective act, when they are adjudicating, when they are central GST officer, they have to pass, central officer, they have to pass even the order pertaining to the SGST also. So similarly, it is applicable for 6(2)(b) also, and they cannot transfer the proceedings. Even if it is intelligent-based enforcement action, they did not transfer the case. So that is what the principle has been set out in Indo International Tobacco Limited by referring to section 6(2)(a), and they are trying to refer to 6(1) also. Then they also have brought up here that there is no overlapping exercise of jurisdiction by the central or the state tax officer. Sometimes there is a waste of energy because both the officers are asking for the same documents, they're analyzing the same facts, they're analyzing the same transactions. So sometimes this will lead into a duplication of proceedings, and it will also lead into a waste of energy, time, and resources investigation the same intelligence. And even they may reach to a conflicting findings also. So one intelligence may say it is liable, the other intelligence may say it is not liable. So it will result even into a conflicting findings also. And also they have stated that in the case of Saitla Devi, sales tax officer, which is a Kerala decision, they said that summons cannot be equated with this notice. And the term initiation of proceedings means issuance of notice. I think this is a principle which we have to stress it out in our Armour case, where they are saying that the summons is only collecting an inquiry, it is informations, or it is only an inquiry, it is only elucidating the informations, and nowhere they are trying to do any adjudications. So based on that, they said that summons cannot be equated with the notice, and proceedings will be initiated only when you are issuing the notice and quantifying the demand and quantifying the liability. So accordingly, they have tried. I think this is also one of the decisions which we have to look into that. Then also Reyes Khan versus Additional Commissioner decision is also said that issuance of summons under 70, that is cannot be hit by 6(2)(b). So these are the decisions where they said that proceedings are different from inquiry or investigations. Now there are anything here anybody wants to add here, because we have few case studies also based on these aspects and based on this principle. But if anybody wants to add here on this aspect, we can discuss. Otherwise, I'll proceed. I'm just trying to take the flow of the decision, how they have interpreted and how they have discussed the different case studies. Should I proceed?
Yes, madam.
Yes. Then once we have read the decisions which have said that proceedings are different from, in contrast to inquiry or investigations, we also have the decisions which is interpreting proceedings in association to inquiry or investigations. So one of the decisions of this RP Buildcon Private Limited, where they have tried to say that if the scrutiny of returns under Section 61 would not have been undertaken for the same period, once the audit has already been completed. So once the audit under 65 is completed, there cannot be further scrutiny on the same issue. And audit falls within the ambit of proceedings. So they are trying to say that once audit has come to its logical end, then there should not be any further scrutiny of returns on the for the same period. And the proceedings have already taken the logical end. So if the audit proceedings are completed by one wing, then the other proceedings should be abated. So the proceedings initiated by anti-evasions and range office further should not be proceeded. So here in these decisions, they are saying that if already the audit authority has concluded the proceeding, then should not be any further proceedings for the same tax period. Then in TVL Metal Trade Incorporation decisions of Delhi High Court, where they have tried to say that, I think it is a Madras High Court, where they have said that simultaneous proceedings by both authorities on the same subject matter is impermissible. Both set of proceedings pertain to the same subject matter. So if it is the same subject matter, the state authority cannot prosecute the appellant. Once it is, the central authority has already done the adjudication. So they are just trying to say that unless and until the appellant participate in the proceedings, whether it is a summons, truth cannot be unearthed regarding to the appellant contention. So they are saying that if it is on the same subject matter, then there should not be any duplication of proceedings. Then the decision of Stalwart Alloys India Limited, where they have said that they doesn't have authority to transfer their proceedings from one proper officer to another proper officer. Even the authority cannot pass the notification saying that this authority has to transfer the case to another authority, because both the central GST authority as well as the state GST authorities are having the equal powers to adjudicate. And action taken by proper officer cannot be transferred to, even through administrative orders, even through notifications, even through an amendment. They cannot transfer the powers from the state officer to the central officer or central officer to a state officer. And also this decision says that there is no concept of joint proceedings. I cannot say that, okay, you also come, I will also come, let us do together. It is not possible, because there is no provisions which is allowing under the GST law to take a concept of joint proceedings by the state authority as well as the central authority. And subject matter refers to our nature of proceedings. So, say we have just dealt this case law, we will deal when we are going to look into the case studies. And it's same principle, more or less, it is coming out with the same kind of principle, but just trying to say what they are trying to analyze in those decisions. Even in Kundla's law Udyog case, also they have said that proceedings with respect to the same supplier has already been proceeded by the state authorities. So again, it cannot be proceeded again by the central authority. So here also they are trying to discuss on this parallel proceedings, and they said that subject matter is not the initiation of proceedings, but it is a nature of proceedings which we have to look into that. So that is what they are just trying to. Only because you have gathered the information is not suffice. You have to see what are the nature of proceedings by the both the jurisdiction, and then we have to test section 6 subsection 2 and B of the GST Act. So basically they are saying that the object of section 6(2)(b) is to prevent cross empowerment in a manner that results in taxpayer being subject. They should be parallel proceedings, but it should not be that they should be overlapping of that same subject matter. That is what the objective of section 6 subsection 2(b) of the GST Act. Now, after looking into those decisions which are interpreting proceedings in association to inquiry or investigations, now the most important aspect is what is the objective of this? Why we are having a two proper officer for the same taxpayer? So they want to what I can say, they want to see that there is a single interface as well as there is a cross empowerment. So the both has to work simultaneously. Now, they want to avoid this dual administration control over all these audits, assessments, and they want to see that the respective jurisdiction should complete those audit or investigations. So, in 22nd council meeting also, they are trying to bring out this implementation of single interface, but still those notifications are yet to be notified, which are there in 22nd council meetings, and they're trying to see that there is a single interface for the taxpayer so that there should not be any multiple proceedings. And the objective is it want to do away with this dual administration control over the collection as well as assessment of tax returns by the taxpayer. It was in the erstwhile regime. We have seen that they want to do away, which was there earlier, like a VAT officer was doing, even service tax officer was doing excise. So there were multiple administration control was there. They want to do away, which was there in the erstwhile law. And simultaneously, it is also empowering both the central and state administration to simultaneously do the actions against the taxpayer. So it means they are complementary to one another. The central and state are complementary to one another. But the single interface is introduced so that one tax administration should have the excise control over that, exclusive control over the taxpayer GST compliances. So taxpayer should not be compelled to respond to the two distinct authority on the same issue or the same transaction. So they have tried to bring out the council meetings or 5th council meetings, which we have discussed in our last session, and 9th council meeting also. And they want to see that majorly only where there is an intelligent based enforcement action, then the dual empowerment should be given. Otherwise, it should be dealt through a single interface by the respective authority. So proper officer of SGST can be proper officer of SGST authority also. And they also said that the provision, whatever is there today, it should try to stress more on this single interface and cross empowerment. There are various circular where they have tried to give the power to the state, this enforcement based intelligent action as well as in the other cases, but they are also trying to bring out but they are not able to bring a clarity on that aspect. I think Armour is bringing out some principles to decide when they can take, when it is an enforcement based action, how the further proceeding should be taken. If it is not an enforcement based action, then how it has to be taken. So I think we will deal in detail on that aspect also. And very important is, I was just trying to read one of the para on self-assessment. I think it is para 49, I think. So one of the para is dealing on self-assessment. But they have not, they have also said that all the provisions have to be read in consonance to the section 59 and not derogation of section 59. And as we all know, section 59 is talking on the self-assessment. So I'm just trying to understand why this section was referred here and why they have not further expanded on this aspect of self-assessment. Because once the taxpayer has self-assessed and filed the return, then it has to be assessed by the respective jurisdiction where he is assigned. So something they want to bring out, but in the judgment, they have not extended on that. They just gave one para saying that self-assessment enshrined in Section 59. Hence, all the provisions are to be read in consequence with 59 and not derogation of Section 59. So whenever we are going to discuss this principles in Armour, we also have to read the principles of self-assessment and how they are trying to link with this Armour. Because they have not expanded anything in this section, I think we might get this reference in any future decisions or future case studies whenever they are going to refer this section. But this is something missing I found in the decisions. If anybody wants to add something why 59 was referred and they have not given a further link to the section 62B, and only they have given a as a what I can call it is only a reference para and not a not related to the decision, not connected to this fact of the case, but they have just given as a reference in one of the para of the decision.
Madam, I would refer, giving reference of 59 is required because the whole crux of this is the self-assessment. But since that is not connected to the case, maybe that's the reason it wouldn't have gone in detail.
Yeah, because Section 46, if I read, it is saying the GST, the para 46, what it says, the GST regime operates on the principle of self-assessment as enshrined in Section 59 of the GST Act. Hence, all the provisions are to be read in consonance and not in derogations. Thus, so I'm not able to connect para 45 and para 47 with the respect of the self-assessment. So I think it is only for a reference as such and arbitrary dicta and not a decision which can be with not a section which is directly connected with the fact of the case, what I was able to look, or might be it is to the as the taxpayer on self-assessment is filing the returns to a respective authority where he is assigned. So only that authority can do that adjudication. Something can we look into that aspect also. Yeah, so I just wanted to bring out this because there was nothing much, they have not discussed much, so I wanted to know the reason as such, right? Then we have this both the central and state administration is armed with the power to initiate intelligent based. So even the state authority or the central authority is been given the power to initiate the intelligent based enforcement action. So intelligent gathering is non-intrusive exercise. See how this intelligent based information. So if you read the word itself, it said in intelligence based enforcement action. So what is this intelligent based? So what are the source of information based on that they can arrive the intelligent based information? It should not be only enforcement. There should be some source. There should be some information based on which they have to initiate this intelligent based enforcement action. So the source of informations they also try to discuss in this judgment. It can be from your data analytics for the trend of the taxpayer, whatever he is filing the returns and paying the taxes, or any other data analytics, or validation of this third-party data, like relying on the other source of your data, like company law data or income tax data, or your other respective data or third parties data you are getting, or based on your actionable intelligence, based on your verification, based on your analytical tools, human intelligence, modus operandi, or based on the past detections also there can be a source of information. So you had some intelligence in the year 2019, but it was only pointed out in that, but no action was taken against it. So again they can initiate based on that, and for the current period they can test based on those past period detections also. So very important is the taxpayer should be mindful that intelligence about evasion of tax cannot be procured through the issuance of summons or through non-descript letters or correspondence. They just cannot say that, okay, we have found out something, so we will issue the summons, and they have to investigate, they have to find those facts, they have to find the informations, and then they should arrive the intelligence-based enforcement actions. So it cannot be casual. It has to be looked into because there are specific instructions which are given, how to conduct, when to issue the summons, how to conduct the inspections, how to conduct the search seizure. So they have to be, it has to be tested that whether they are following those conditions or not. And in case if there is any audit of accounts or detailed scrutiny of accounts, proceedings can be initiated.
Anupama ma'am,
Tax
I would
administration.
like to
Yes, sir.
interfere in the
Yes, sir.
previous line that you discussed,
Yes, sir.
because there are many litigations which are happening on this front.
Yes, sir.
So what is happening is basically there is a search which is happening, and they are saying that they have an intelligence that I'm not utilizing my electronic credit ledger for a long time. So that is the reason for the search. And
Yes.
then what happens is that They come to my office, they take all the data, and they do nothing about the electronic credit ledger. Rather, they find that I'm supplying exempt supplies.
Hmm.
So they come out with that. And how do they find that? They find it from my accounts. They find it through the statement recorded during the summons. So that is where this thing will come into play, that whenever the ground that has been given, INS01, if the ground is given for the search, or if
Hmm.
they're whenever they're doing electronic blocking, they're giving a reason that for this reason we have blocked the electronic
Hmm.
credit ledger under Rule 86A. I think that is something that we need to play a very important part on. Because this
Okay.
is something which is missing, because some of the matters that are coming to us,
Yes.
this particular ground was not taken initially at the reply stage.
Hmm.
That whatever INS01 you had shown to me, or you have given the electronic credit ledger, so in that you have mentioned that this is because of non-utilization of electronic credit ledger for almost 1 year. But when
Hmm.
you are issuing me a show cause notice, you are issuing it for the ground that I am making an exempt supply. That is the allegation. Because you
Hmm.
think that it's an exempt supply because I have not filed an affidavit with the commissioner as required for all those branded products and all.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
this ground need to be taken at the initial stage itself. So this is
Yes.
one important thing which is coming out from the armor
Yes.
judge. Over
Yes.
to you, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you, sir. And they also try to bring out that if there is any relating to audit of accounts or scrutiny of returns or ASMT 10, then proceedings should be taken by the officer where the taxpayer is assigned as such. So that is what they are saying. And only in contrast, when the proceedings are based on intelligent related tax evasion, then it can be done by the Central Tax Administration or State Tax Administration. And they also try to say that they have referred this Delhi High Court case of Amit Gupta, where they have said that they are just again bringing the principle of 6(1), and they are saying that if the order is passed under CGST Act, and again it is deemed as if the order is passed under SGST Act. So that is what they are just trying to bring out here. So this is the principle of this single interface with the cross empowerment. This has referred when they have given the guidelines also for these decisions. We'll read in detail when we are coming to that guidelines. And next is a very important point which we should know, that this is the most crux of this decision, because section 6(2)(b) two very important aspects we have to know. One is initiation of proceedings, and the second is same subject matter. I think that is the test we have to do for wherever we are receiving the notices or investigations or summons. This plays very, very important roles, because here they are trying to say, what do you mean by initiation of proceedings? So whether the summons can be initiation of proceedings, or audit can be proceedings, or scrutiny of returns can be proceedings, or issuance of notices proceeding, or anti-evasions intelligence is also proceeding. So this is what the dispute is around actually. So this is what we have to try to cover, whether initiation of proceedings, how to test that. That is the most important. And if you have read the petitional contentions, they have already said that any proceedings to cover all proceedings. So they have tried to refer the income tax judgment also, and they are saying that any has to be read as all proceedings, and they initiated any proceedings. So they are trying to say that it is including any referred as all in that interpretation. And they also have tried to say that 11th council meeting, which we have already discussed, that there should be expressed or implied bar to prevent a taxpayer from subject to the proceedings by the multiple officer, that we have already discussed. And they also said when they can issue the summons. So the next 4 or 5 lines, what I'm trying to say is relating to the summons, when they can issue it. So summon can be issued to a person under investigations, or considered as a witness of investigations against the other person. So when they can issue the summons, only when they have to proceed for the investigations, or they want to inquire about certain information, they have to issue the summons. And all the points are already there in the guideline of this summons, which has already been issued on 17th August 2022. And they have tried to give all these guidelines and try to refer in this decision also. And they have said that summon is not a culmination of investigation, but it is merely a first step in the course of the investigation. And in few instances, I think most of us would have experienced that they just send a letter of requisitions. We want these all informations. So that also is treated as a formal summons to collect the informations. And summons cannot be equated with these proceedings, as the subject matter cannot be arrived through the summons, because summons is only you are collecting the informations. You cannot arrive the cause of actions, you cannot arrive the demand, you cannot arrive the action, you cannot arrive where is the non-compliance. So I think it cannot be equated with the proceedings. And the summons cannot be issued for your routine matters. It has to be issued only when there is a which is giving a indication that there is some evasions, or then the summons should be issued. But in today's we are able to see that summons are issued in a routine manner, and it is only become like a collecting informations. Many instances we have just seen that they are just collecting the information, and they are not limited to the power of section 70. Sometimes they are exceeding their power in 70 by asking multiple informations. And sometimes you have seen that summons should be issued only for, say, one issue, but they are trying to collect the information for all other 10 issues also. So I think we have to be very cautious when we are looking into the summons, and we should know within what power, what information they can ask in the summons. So this circular, this guideline is very nicely drafted, and they have given a lot of instructions when they can issue the summons. And they also have said that at the summons stage, it cannot be predicted that subject matter of the proceedings will be identical. That is true, actually. That is a fact. Because they are only collecting the information, they cannot arrive what will be the subject matter by the central authority, what can be the subject matter by the state authority also. So search is clearly distinct and separate from the proceedings. So in this para, they are just trying to distinguish how the proceedings are different from the summons, how the proceedings are separate from investigation and search also.
One more
And
point
yes,
which I wish to mention here,
yes, sir.
that the summon cannot be issued upfront. When we read section 70, it says that the proper officer under this act shall have the power to summon any person whose attendance he considers necessary, either to give evidence or to produce a document or any other thing in any inquiry in the same manner. So the point is, when there is an inquiry, then only they can issue the summon. So if there is no pending inquiry or there is no continuing inquiry, in such a case, they cannot issue a summon just for asking some details. So if at all if at all there is a inquiry which is continued or pending, then only the summon can be issued. And at present we are able to notice that they are issuing the summon for whatever matter.
Yes,
I just wanted to add this.
yeah. And I was able to look this in INQU IRY, this reference, only in 3 section in overall act. I was just trying to read, because just trying to connect why this word INQU IRY, that is a very specific term which is used in section 70, and how it is differentiating from the other inquiry, that is ENQUI.
Yes.
Right. So here, I was just trying to read. I think I found in 3 places. That is one in section 70. One is in 107 subsection 11, where first appellate authority also can issue the show cause notice. And even this inquiry is used in the term revisionary authority under 108. So this term is very specific, which has been used in a specific section to give a specific power to collect those informations. So I think we have to read that specific term of inquiry not as a general matter. It should be for a specific reason and specific matter. Yes.
I'm just recalling my academic days also, when we used to read auditing standards as well, right? So there, the word e-inquiry has been mentioned in a standard on auditing 500 and 505. Okay. Okay. So so far as economic laws are concerned, I have observed that they have avoided the practice of using e-inquiry. In fact, whenever there is an authority who has to initiate it, they are using the word I-inquiry only.
Okay.
Yes. So you would hardly find that, as per my limited understanding, that in economic laws they have preferred to use word e-inquiry.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll just soon come to the case studies now. So here they have said, I'm just trying to read so that we'll just go through, because this all will help us out to analyze our case studies. and notice serve as a both procedural safeguard. This is 5, and SCN cannot be vague. Here also they have tried to refer in this decision, they have tried to refer this Brindavan Beverage decision, and they have said that it is not required because already the decision has said that how the show cause notice should be issued, and it cannot be vague or there cannot be made any allegations without the evidence. So they have tried to refer and said that that is already been discussed in Brindavan Beverages, so they will not go in depth of that. And they also have said that background for initiation of proceedings are what can be the proceedings where they are trying to say that internal audit wing, scrutiny of returns, or intelligence gathered by the officers of the audit and intelligence commensurate. So they said that the show cause notice should be received only once the investigation is made prior to the issuance of show cause notice. Either investigations or either the audit or the inquiry of the information, or there should be something which should lead into a issuance of show cause notice. So they are saying that the liability is determined through issuance of adjudication order referred as order in original. So I think, I don't know how about in other states, like in Karnataka also, wherever we are able to see that enforcement officers are doing the investigations, they are concluding their findings, and they are issuing the show cause notice. But they cannot conclude the proceedings because they are not the proper officer to conclude the proceedings. So what will happen is that will be referred back to the respective LVOs, or it will be referred to the audit authority based on that internal instruction, and accordingly the further adjudications will be done by the respective authority. So that is what they are saying, that it will be determined only through an issuance of adjudication order. So the adjudication order cannot be passed by the investigation or authority. They have to conclude the matter either by dropping the issues or by forming some decision on that. But they cannot pass the adjudication order. So they have to refer that to a respective authority, as the case may be. And even the DGGI are also empowered to issue notices in the capacity as central tax officer. So basically, we use the term as DGGI or anti-evasions when it is by central authority, and we use this word enforcement or intelligence by whenever it is done by the state tax officer. So that is what they are just saying, that it is, they are also in the capacity as central tax officer whenever the DGGI is conducting the investigations. And initiation of proceedings is only when it is undertaken with the object of attaining a determined outcome, and there must be exist a point of finality or conclusion thereto, which I have given an example. So issuance of summons cannot be considered as initiation of proceedings, since it is the stage still written and it is not initiating any proceedings. Even when the search is made, it has to conclude proceedings either by SCN under section 74 or as the case may be. And they also referred the circular 1/2017, where they said that it does not operate as a bar to the initiation of enforcement action by the central tax officer against a taxpayer who is already assigned to a state tax authority. So this is what they are trying to refer this 1/17. And I think we have to wait for TVL Vardhaman case also and RAM agency case also to see if they are coming out with the saying that the tax officer should be adjudicated only by the authority where they have assigned. Then I think this will be again contradicting. But here they are saying that other than enforcement-based enforcement action, it has to be administered by the respective authority where they have assigned. But for the enforcement-based, intelligence-based enforcement action, they said it can be done either by the state tax administration or the central tax administration. So the logical conclusion does not invariably refer to an order of assessment in every case. So summons cannot be equated with the assessment. That is what I am trying to understand here. And it denotes the decisions carried by the officers of the department having regard to the peculiar facts and the circumstance of the case. Now, we are going on the aspect of same subject matter. What is the subject matter? Now we have discussed initiation of proceedings. We have discussed on the proceedings. We have discussed on how summons is different from proceedings, and how summons and investigation is in association to proceedings. Now, the first aspect of section 6(2)(b) we have discussed. Now, the second very important is, what do you mean by the subject matter? I think this is the most important test which we have to look into, whether subject matter includes all the matters which are dealt in the summons. So that is what we have to try, because based on summons we have inquired, we have collected the informations. Can I say that already the informations are given to the authority who has issued the summons? Can I just restrict the adjudication proceedings or other proceedings before the other authority? So we have to try to understand first is subject matter and then come to the aspect of same subject matter. So first let us understand how they are trying to say subject matter also. So here they are trying to say that where CGST officer passed the order, then it necessarily encompasses the demand under the SGST Act. This we are very much aware in Section 6, Subsection 1 of the Act. And they are also relying on this Satyam Casting Private Limited decision. They are saying that subject matter is the cause of action. So that cause of action is not there at the time of summon. The cause of actions will be there only when there is a issuance of notice. So subject matter has to be read with the proceedings. So proceedings are initiated for subject matter. So in the case of Gorka Security Services, they have said that service of show cause notice is to made to inform the noticee about the case that has to be set up against him. Subject matter of the proceedings lies only in the conduct of notice. Subject matter is not there in your summons. So you cannot say that it is the same subject matter in the case of summons proceedings, because show cause notice laid down the foundation of the case, and show cause notice is giving a principle that there is an initiation of proceedings. And very importantly, they also brought out the 75 subsection 7, where they are trying to say that the appellate officer or the adjudicating officer cannot conclude the order based on the grounds other than the grounds which are there in the show cause notice. So that is the importance of show cause notice. They are trying to put a relevance in this decision, and they are trying to say that if any ground reasoning which does not figure out in SCN cannot be permitted to take in the adjudication or in the appellate authority. So it is the same subject matter when both the proceedings have similar liability, or even when there is a slightest overlap in the tax liability or the obligations. We will deal in our practical case studies how to look into this similar same subject matter as such. And I think last 2-3 slides I have on this aspect, and then we will try to, if time permits, we'll go on to this case studies also. And subject matter is tied up with the determination of the specific violation and the scrutiny of the liability. Very important is distinct infractions. So if it is the same infraction, then it will result into the same subject matter. But if it is leading into a distinct infraction by the central authority as well as by the state authority, then 6(2)(b) is not applicable, because they can still entitled to proceed without infringing the prohibitions. The two-fold test for Section 6(2)(b) is identical liability of tax or alleged
So,
offense.
Annapurna ma'am,
Yes.
Annapurna ma'am, here I had a question.
Yes.
Like about this same subject matter when you were discussing, and about this last point that we discussed, distinct infractions. So, recently,
Sir, I'm
suppose
not. Sir, I
CGST,
lost your
suppose
voice.
CGST, yeah. Suppose CGST has already issued a show cause notice for 2A 3B mismatch. Okay. And wherein they have also said that there are some non-filers of, say, some 3 non-filers. And accordingly, they have carried out an investigation that these non-filers are intentional. You have a connivance. They have not filed the returns and all. So they have filed it for 3 filers, suppliers only, central GST. Now, state GST comes after 2 months, and they say that apart from those 3, there are 2 more people who have not filed their returns, and we feel that the same thing is a fake credit, that there is no movement of goods, and it's a connivance and all. So, will this be treated distinctly? What is the view of the House on this? The issue is same.
Yeah, I have taken the case study. Shall I open that case study then?
I think yes.
That will help us.
Yes.
Can we look this case study, sir?
Yes.
It's different, but just summons is issued to inquire fake suppliers ABCD by the state authority. SN is issued based on intelligent wing SGST on 20th August 25. And anti-evasion also inquired, but report was issued to taxpayer. I think this is little more complicated. So your is
No, I think these are fairly enough. These are fairly good. I think
okay, because here we have added even the report given by the anti-evasion, and later SCN is issued by the adjudicating authority on 15th September on non-fulfilling the condition of ITC on Section 16(2)(c) of the suppliers, including the fake suppliers. What you are trying to analyze here. So here in your case also, the central authority has already issued for the 3 suppliers, and state authority has issued for the another 2 suppliers, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So according
Yeah.
to me, still, as per my view, if the summons are issued, it is not the same issue, though the findings are same, because they are trying to say that they are finding out the three suppliers, though those two suppliers are unidentified by the state officers, so they have been identified by the central officers, right? So can we not say
Right.
that? Can we not say that if something is not, it cannot be the same subject matter according to me, but if anybody else has
Okay.
any other issue, they can just.
Yeah. Yeah. So we wanted the view of the house on this. What is
Yeah,
the view of the house on this? So if the same issue is brought out about fake suppliers,
yes.
then they restrict themselves to 4 suppliers, and later can state authority come ahead and say 2 more we have found. Then after 1 year, they'll say we have found 3 more. Can they do this? What is the view of the house on this?
Sir, I have a view on it that no one can stop them to issue the show cause notice on the same subject matter. Law does not provide any restriction on it. First point. Second point, coming to the phrase that is same subject matter, I think the issue cannot be treated as same subject matter, and which is also giving a support to my first point. Subject matter is all about the transaction, I think. Okay, the issue-wise discussion may not be treated as same subject matter. So I think they can do so.
Okay. Okay. So this is one of the views that even within the same issue for different suppliers, it will not be treated as the same subject matter. Any other view?
No,
Any
for
other
the
view? Akash?
different
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
view is that
Yes.
suppose the state authorities have already covered 4 suppliers,
Right, sir.
and then again the central comes and say no, these 3 are also left, so we are covering these 3 the same
Right.
year, and the summon is issued under section 74. So whether it is permissible for them to reopen the case multiple times and alleging that you have done a suppression, and how many times they can allege for the same year the suppression. This is the issue.
Even I
Can it
take one.
be
Even I take
only
business. I take.
only on that issue? That issue
Yes.
is of name is different. Supplier name may be different, XYZ or
Right.
ABC, but the
Right.
issue is the same, and the allegation is the same that you are taking the fake ITC. They are the fake persons.
Yeah.
So I don't think multiple chances or multiple opportunities they will get for that particular issue and for the particular period for initiation of proceedings under section 74.
I think it
Right.
depends upon the moment also, because at a particular point of time they might not be in a position. They may not be having that kind of information that the supplier is fraud, etc. Okay, so if later point of time they come to know that these suppliers are also non-existent supply, in such a case they may say that this subject matter, this is not the ignorance of their proceeding at earlier point of time. They have just come to know right now, and now they have started for these transactions as well.
Okay. So any other view? Any other view on this, Shravana Kumarji, or any other? Minor,
Yeah,
you have any view on this? Yeah.
I was about to
Yeah.
tell you. Thank you for calling. So, my sense of the matter is that this is all specifically covered in the ARMA security. This one also. Look at para 96, the concluding para. They specifically again come to a conclusion after discussing what Annapurna is also saying on various case laws as to what subject matter is. They have kept the bar very low. They have said, in fact, if I can read out, subject matter means refers to any tax liability or deficiency or obligation arising from a particular contravention with the department. So therefore, we can't say a broad level ITC is covered in earlier proceeding, or section 62 AA or 16.2 AA or 16.2B is covered in a particular proceeding, and that cannot be repeated in another proceeding. That is not what is the intent of this one. This has kept the bar very low. So having said that, let's assume again. So therefore, there is no blanket bar on initiating on the same thematic subject matter. Going inside, and if you see the relevant suppliers, those suppliers have not been covered in any other proceeding, then it is open for us, for the department to say that I can go ahead with these suppliers in the other proceeding also. Therefore, if the exact same contravention or exact same suppliers are not covered, they are free to go. Having said that, the exact same suppliers have been considered earlier and they have come to a conclusion that there is no liability, and now on the same suppliers, then probably the bar in the para 96 may be attracted, is what my view is. So this is again my view. Coming to my sense is that we can't go based on subject matter is kept at a bar is kept at very low. It is a specific contravention, and that cannot be one section that is covered or one ITC per se. We cannot give a very broad conclusion of this one. It has to be a very specific aspect, is what we are trying to see in para 96. Sorry for the long answer.
Thank you. No, thank you very much. Yes. I think any other view on this?
Just one reference, Arup sir. In para,
Yeah,
para 33 of the judgment, they have tried to say that it is observed that the object of section 62B is to prevent the cross-empowerment in a manner that result in taxpayer being subjected to parallel proceedings. And they also said that the court interpreted the term subject matter to refer to the nature of proceedings and clarified that if any new information is gathered by the later authority, it ought to be shared with the authority already ceased of the investigation. So they are just trying to bring out that if there is any additional information they have gathered at the later point of time, either they have to pass on to the respective authority or they can initiate the proceedings. That is what is some reference, and I think we have to read in detail on that, but para 33 is giving some reference on that.
Okay.
Verifying again, step in for a second.
Yeah,
So,
please.
as I think Veg is also trying to say, there is nothing stopping the department from proceeding, even assuming it is covered under the same subject matter definition. So they will definitely try to proceed, and Armour says we'll have to cooperate. And if it is sure that it is the same subject matter, department can't be stopped, but the ASIC can also look at writ remedy if it is very clear, crystal clear that it is the same subject matter. So one more point probably I thought I should have. This is also there in the guidelines given.
Yes. So twofold test they have given in this guideline also, in the conclusion also. When you can treat the subject matter same, they said if the authority has already proceeded on the same offense, and secondly, the demand is also identical. So that also, this two tests has to be fulfilled to reach into the conclusion of same subject matter. So I think this also we can borrow for this case study actually.
Yes, ma'am. So is there other? Yeah.
But just one more point I want to quickly add, and then probably this one.
Yeah.
Anupurna was trying to point out this twofold test given. If we read the para very carefully, it says that demand should also be identical. Am I right, Anupurna? Is it identical?
Yes. Yeah.
Therefore, I'll just put a small question to the house. Let's assume that suppliers are also same in this scenario. A supplier is covered in first proceeding. A supplier is also covered in the second proceeding. But there is a mismatch in the quantification. Probably some invoices are left off by the first person and some more invoices are being covered by the second person. So will that attract the bar in Armour Security? So that is my question to the learned members here. So
we have covered that. We have covered that practical case study. So basically, we are trying to say that if it is the same issue, if they have missed out, then it cannot be, the power cannot be given to the other authority to further look into that actually. So if it is, for example, same 4 suppliers, already it has been analyzed, then again you cannot reach on to for those 4 suppliers and say that this ITC would have been, earlier you have not fulfilled the condition of 62C, now you have not fulfilled the condition of 62B. So according to me, you cannot bring out the power given to the other officer based on that subsection itself. Because once it has been given to administer and adjudicate by the respective proper officer, it can be for the other suppliers, but it cannot be for the same suppliers, is my view actually.
So Armour Security is now going to be open. It's going to set the bar, but the bar is going to be challenged in many cases again. So it is not the end of the story, probably.
Yes, possible. But some test and conclusion and guideline will give some basis for us to look into those aspects, sir, actually.
Absolutely. Completely agree.
Yes. So these are the conclusions and guidelines. I'll just run through. We have time now, sir. I can proceed. So these are the guidelines. I'll just run through and then we'll take into case studies a little faster. Then this guidelines, I think we have read it. So more or less, I'll just proceed with the case studies, sir. Can I proceed with the case study, Arup sir? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Okay. So, interestingly, if the summons was issued by the State Department, this is a practical case where they were analyzing the taxpayer he was a plotted development taxpayer, and they have not registered, but still the summons was issued by the State Department on 10th March 2025. Then again, one more state authority also issued one more summons as they got to know that he was unregistered, not paid any taxes. So they also issued one more jurisdiction of State Department issued, that is on 10th August 2025 with the same requirement. Please produce all these details. Then summons, central government also issued the summons on 25/9/2025 saying that we want to inquire this. Now the issue is, can we rely on 62B? In the case of State Department versus State Department, or should 62B should be read with the State Department versus Central Department? That test we have to look into that. So as we have already, anybody want to add here? Otherwise, I'm just trying to go through where we have tried to test into. It is only the hint I was trying to give, but I'm not sure these are the only possible views. So what I was just trying to touch upon on this is, first of all, this inquiry is not at all synonymous to the proceedings. And there is no adjudication which has taken place here. So it has all the summons are issued only for collecting the inquiry. And for intra-department parallel proceedings, only for audit, investigation, and scrutiny, they said there cannot be interdepartmental proceedings, but they have not restricted for summons. And even if we read this GK trading, they have said inquiry is not synonymous to proceedings. So issue is if two inquiry falls within the same 62B, that is due to SC decision as inquiry is not a proceedings. We have also read Saila Devi where they said that summonses cannot notice. Now the issue is everybody is asking the same informations, but still it is not a proceedings. Should we reply to all these three divisions? Or can we say to the central department already our 62B is there? Or should we inform to this 10th 8th August saying that already your jurisdiction has issued the summons on 10th March 2025, so there cannot be further departmental proceedings. So important is how to differentiate between intra-department proceedings and inter-department proceedings. So one of the guidelines has tried to say that the authority first initiated the inquiry or investigation is empowered to carry its logical conclusions. So whoever has initiated the first, they have to complete that. And for this intrastate, I think we can try to say that already the state jurisdiction has already issued the summons. You can just drop it. We can try to write a letter to this first state department. The state department issued on 10th 8th. But if they are having any other subject matter they want to still do, we have to cooperate with that proceedings. And for this 62B also, we have to cooperate for the proceedings because 62B is not applicable in the case of summons. Right? I'll proceed, sir. Next.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Then next case study is ABC companies assigned to central government by way of administration. State government has issued the scrutiny notice AASMT 10. Taxpayer did not question on jurisdiction. Why he did not question? He was not aware of as such. What he did is, okay, he received scrutiny notice, audit, he tried replying without looking into where he was assigned. So when he was assigned to central government, he was supposed to question on the jurisdiction that he is not going to proceed with the scrutiny notice as this has not arisen based on enforcement, intelligence-based enforcement action. So the just state government has passed the order. Can he challenge at the appellate level? So according to my view, yes, he can challenge at the appellate level also because as he was assigned to central government and the scrutiny notice is received by the state government and this notice is received without any intelligence-based enforcement action. So I think he can still question at the appellate level. So this is what I've tried to write here. So if it is issued by way of enforcement-based intelligent action, then state jurisdiction has right to issue even though they are under the central jurisdiction. Otherwise, they cannot. But still, we have to wait for this Ram agency case and Vardhaman to arrive for the further conclusion on this issue.
So,
Then,
Annapurna ma'am, I think because it's
Yeah.
already 10 a.m., so
yeah,
we'll take a break here. So we'll continue this on the next
Yeah,
Saturday if your time
Yes.
permits. And
yes,
what we'll request is, since case study 2 we have not discussed in detail, so
yeah.
maybe we all, ma'am, if you can share the case studies, I think only the case study portion without
Oh.
the hint. Then maybe
Oh.
like good students will study and come back in the next session.
Yes. I'll share the
Okay.
case studies. Yeah.
Yeah, only the case studies so that we can study through them and then come prepared for the next day. So next day we'll discuss mainly the case studies and whatever else.
I think that will help us actually to.
Yeah, that will help us because we want to take this because you have prepared this lot of effort that can be seen in this PPT. So I think we should just take the
Yes,
entire
yes.
benefit of it through the discussion in the group.
Yes.
So thank you everyone, and I think
Thank
it's
you.
always amazing to hear Annapurna ma'am. It's really a pleasure and a blessing, I would say. So and thanks to all the members of the faculty group for joining in, because just because you are joining in, we have received voluntary requests from a lot of members saying that they will take up sessions and they're coming up with sections, they're coming up with different issues. So I think that is really wonderful for all of us, but it would not have been possible without your presence and your encouragement. So please do keep coming. Please do keep encouraging the speakers, and I think that is the best way for both of us to learn. So thank you very much and have a wonderful weekend ahead. Looking forward to see Annapurna ma'am again next week. Thank you very much. Thank you.